Before we start a facial treatment, I will ask my client to remove any jewelry, such as earrings and necklaces. We also make sure to remove any makeup foundation. We can use a baby wipe for that. The objective of the treatment is to raise the temperature of the skin. We are going to use an infrared thermometer to measure the temperature of the skin. You can see that the baseline temperature is usually around 32 or 33 degrees. And our objective is to elevate it to at least 39 degrees Celsius. In a nice layer, not too thick, not too thin. Spread it evenly and generously on the treatment area. Before you start the treatment, position yourself in such a way to allow yourself good control and consistent movements and strokes. For facial treatment, I will be using the diamond polar applicator. As you can see, I'm holding it as I'm holding a pen. It's very lightweight and very comfortable. It has 4 electrodes right there. And it enables easy access to areas such as the corner of the eye. So once I've put on glycerine, I can select the suitable program. When we're treating the face, we're actually dividing the face into 6 zones. The 2 cheeks, the forehead, the area around the left eye and the right eye, and the area around the mouth. We're going to dedicate about 5 minutes to each zone. We will start with the cheeks. I'm simply placing the electrodes of the diamond polar applicator on the skin and gliding the applicator on the skin. I'm applying very slight pressure to make sure that the electrodes are in contact with the skin. And I start with slower strokes. Once I reach my therapeutic temperature, which is at least 39 degrees, I can go ahead and increase the speed of the strokes. You can see that I'm defining the cheekbone. You can see that I'm now at 43 degrees. So I can reach very high temperatures very quickly, and I'm just going to ask my client how she's feeling. Linda?
Yes, it's very comfortable.
It is important to get the feedback from your client during the treatment so that you know if you can reach higher temperature or maybe you need to lower the temperature a little bit. It's important to cover the entire treatment area as uniformly as you can. Just follow the natural curves of the face. Watch how I maneuver my wrist when I go over the jawline. This allows me to make sure all of the electrodes are in contact with the skin. You want to define the cheekbone and also go over the jawline when you're treating this part of the face. Now, as a rule of thumb, there are 2 ways to control the temperature of the skin. One way is to increase or decrease the energy level by pressing the plus and minus buttons on the touch screen. The other way is to change the speed of the stroke. The faster I go, the lower the temperature is. You can see that I'm going relatively fast now, as opposed to going slowly. And I'm sure my client will immediately tell the difference. Can you confirm that, Linda?
Yes, I can. Either way, it's still very comfortable.
While I'm working on this part of the face, it's important to make sure to avoid any contact of the electrodes with the nose, because it might cause a little discomfort to the client. I will now move on to the area around the eye. I will use crescent shape strokes. Lift up the skin while I'm doing it. You can see that I'm using relatively slow strokes. And I will measure the temperature again. It is 42.4 degrees. So I've reached my therapeutic temperature, and now I'm just going to maintain it for the remaining time of treatment. So if we're dedicating a total of 5 minutes for each zone, it takes us about 30 seconds or so to reach therapeutic temperature. So we are going to maintain this temperature for about 4.5 minutes or so. The design of the diamond polar applicator allows me to reach the corner of the eye and approach the lower eyelid. I can reach about 1/2 inch or just about 1 centimeter or so below the lower eyelid. I'm going to move on and treat the forehead. Once again, I'm placing all of the electrodes on the skin, and I'm performing circular movements and making sure that the electrodes are in contact with the skin. I can go just below the eyebrow. I will measure the temperature again. The range of therapeutic temperature in which we want to be in is between 39 degrees and about 42 degrees. The higher the better, as long as the client feels comfortable with it. I'm going to treat the left side of the face for an additional 10 minutes, just as I did with the right side of the face. Once the treatment is completed, we just use baby wipes or a wet towel to take off the glycerine. Once the treatment is finished, the client can go ahead and resume their daily activities straight away. There is no downtime. They can put on, if they want, moisturizer, sunscreen, makeup or makeup foundation. Linda, did you enjoy the treatment?
I did very much. It was very relaxing and not uncomfortable at all.
Great. I'm glad to hear. I will see you next week as our protocol calls for weekly treatments. And you can just go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. I look forward to it.